Hello fellow coffee botherers. In this video I'm going to be putting the Barista Express through its paces where dialing in is concerned. So let's make coffee. Okay, so I've done the unboxing and walkthrough video on the new Sage or Breville Barista Express Impress, and then in the last video I made espresso with it for the first time. And this time I want to see what the process is like of dialing in different bags of coffee with this machine. So I'm going to switch between a few different bags of coffee beans and see how easy the process is of getting each new bag of beans dialed in. Dialed in, or what some people refer to as calibration, means tweaking things to get the best results from the coffee we're using, and it's one of the most important and difficult parts of espresso. Why it's important is that if you don't get dialed in, you won't be experiencing that coffee at its best, and it's really possible to drink very poor espresso from really high quality coffee beans simply by not being dialed in. Not only is it possible, I think it's what the majority of people who own machines like the Barista Express actually do, simply because the dialing in process seems like a pain. It seems overly complex and time consuming, so people just chuck beans in and press a button. In theory, this machine should make dialing in much easier and should allow people like this, and that's a majority of coffee drinkers, to get decent quality espresso from decent quality freshly roasted coffee beans with very little time and effort. You should be able to finish one bag of beans, open another bag and be drinking decent espresso from the new bag within a couple of minutes and with very little messing about. So let's find out if this is the case. I'm using the factory preset temperature, which is 93 Celsius or 199 Fahrenheit, which is a pretty good temperature to start at, I think. And personally, I'd say stick to the preset unless you appear to be dialed in according to the shot time, but it doesn't taste right. So if the shot pulls at the right shot window, but you find it tastes really under or really over extracted, then I'd adjust the temperature accordingly to help you dial in better with that bean. But I wouldn't recommend playing around with the brew temperature as a matter of course, or you're just adding another variable into the mix. One thing I have done, and I would definitely recommend, is just tweaking the internal grind setting a couple of notches finer. These machines have 10 internal burr settings as well as the 26, I think it is, external settings, but the factory preset of 6, I normally find they're a little bit on the coarse side for espresso. And tweaking it down to 4 internally normally puts most of the available grind setting within the espresso range for most beans. So to change it, you simply remove the hopper, remove the top burr, take the metal wire clip thing off, just change that setting, turn that from 6 to 4, that's what I'd recommend. Put the clip back on, put the burr back in, put the hopper back on, and you're ready to go. So I'm guessing at grind size 7, we'll just try and dial in. First of all, I'm just going to pull a shot at the standard volume. I'm going to weigh, you don't have to do that, I'm just weighing it because I just want to see what kind of ratio is given us at the factory preset volume on the double shot button. You don't need to do that, so don't worry about having to use brew scales. That's the beauty of using a machine like this, you don't have to. In terms of the shot window, the manual, and you'll hear this a lot and it is the norm, and I agree with it, is between 25 to 30 seconds, or I'd normally say 28 to 32, but it's about the same. So a shot window of 25 to 30 seconds. I am going to suggest that the majority of people using this now for the first time, if you're buying this machine, you're not used to using espresso machines or manual espresso machines, I would highly recommend extending that window to between 20 and 35 seconds. So instead of having a 5-second shot window, give yourself a 15-second shot window, just to make things easier for yourself. I think a good analogy is if you were learning to play darts, the first thing you'd do is try and hit the board. You wouldn't try and hit the bullseye. And this 25 to 30 second shot window is a professional shot window. That's what baristas use. You know, getting a machine like this out of the box and trying to get in within that window is like getting a dartboard for the first time, and rather than just trying to hit it, actually trying to hit the bullseye. So make things a little bit easier for yourself, I would say. Aim for between 20 to 35 seconds. Don't be mega frustrated if straight out of the box you're getting 20, 22, 23 second shots because you're reading that it should be between 25 and 30. Just extend that a little bit, and then over time get used to the process and, you know, aim to shorten that window over time to 25 to 30 seconds. But starting out, I would be happy with between 20 to 35 seconds, and most people starting out probably won't be able to tell the difference now between a 20 or 22 second shot and a 26 second shot, for example, or a 27 second shot. So a lot of people are getting frustrated and they're, you know, pulling their hair out trying to get a few seconds slower shot, which makes absolutely no difference in the cup to them. It makes no difference in taste. What's the point? You know, it's all about taste. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be aiming between 20 to 35 seconds as if I was someone just getting this out of the box. And as I say, I would recommend just widening that window. Over time, you know, you can try and get that window shorter. But to begin with, I'm going to go between 20 and 35 seconds. I've got the first beans in. They're a sort of medium dark roast, freshly roasted. All these are freshly roasted within a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks from roast date. I was lucky. We've got the green light straight away, so the dose is good. So we've got about 18 grams, just under 18 grams. The shot volumes are a bit high, I think, out of the box, depending on what ratio you're going for. If you use it at the factory preset volumes and you're more than happy with the taste and the strength and so on, fine. You know, don't listen to someone like me saying, oh, you need to do this ratio or that ratio. If you're happy with it as it comes out of the box, then brilliant. You'll probably find that out of the box, you end up with a lungo ratio. So you end up with 1:3 ratio. So if you had 20 grams in and a 1:2 was 40 and a 1:3 is 60 mil of espresso from 20 grams of coffee. That's 1:3, which is more like a lungo. A standard espresso would normally be about 1:2. So from 18 grams to about 36. In a sec, I will change the volume so I can show you how to reprogram the shot button, but don't feel you have to. If you like the espresso you're getting from the factory presets, then leave it as it is. There's no rule to say that it should be 1:2. 1:3, 1:3 and a bit is actually very common, and a lot of people will prefer that slightly more mellow shot. So the shot took about 21 seconds, and we've got like almost 60 grams, 58 grams from 18 grams in. So as I've just said, if you like the taste of the shots at factory preset and you're getting like a 1:3 ratio, then great. Stick to that. If you want to change that, I'll show you how to do that now. In terms of taste, that is okay. Most normal coffee drinkers will probably find this, you know, relatively somewhere near to being dialed in with decent coffee beans. Really, really nice. I would class that as a new user of a machine like this. I would class that as being dialed in because it tastes fine. Again, dose is perfect. I'm just pressing it a second time to just polish because it does that barista twist. So it just polishes the puck, gets rid of any little bits of coffee on the top. So to change the shot volume, really simple, just press and hold the two shot buttons for a few seconds until they do that. And then you press whichever shot button you're changing and to start, and then press it again to stop. So I'm going to stop it when we're at about 36 grams because it's dosing about 18 and I want a 1:2. We've got just over 36 grams, so that's 1:2, and that doesn't taste bad at all. So I would class that as been dialed in within this slightly bigger window. Most people would really be happy with that shot. So I've changed the coffee beans, and this time I'm using my choc and nut from seaworks.co.uk, the Coffee Works. And if you want to try this, use a discount code YT25, 25% off your first order. And after that, use discount code CoffeeBotherers for 10% off all future orders. Not dosed enough, it's asking us to dose more. So that's how simple it is to get the dose right. And now, unless we change the grind size, that will be right, it remembers. So now let's see what the shot is like, whether or not the grind is about right. So because I've changed the beans, I'm going to reset the volume again. I'm not going to assume that the volume is correct. I'm going to reset the volume again for this first shot. So both buttons together, and then press a shot to start and press a shot again, the shot button to stop. that ran too quick, so I'm going to go a bit finer with the grind, see what that gives us. What I'm going to start doing now, just so you can see, just so you understand what I'm doing, each time I'm changing the grind size, I'm going to purge a little bit of coffee. You don't have to do this. If you were doing this at home, I would recommend dialing in over a few coffees. So, you know, if you're at 20 seconds, make a coffee with it. Next time you come back to it, adjust it slightly, make a coffee. Next time you come back to it, you adjust it slightly more, and so on. But obviously I'm doing a video here, I can't spend that long. So to get to the point where all the coffee in the basket is at the same grind size, I'm going to do something called purging. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to press the manual dose button, and I'm just going to grind a little bit, just a couple, 2-3 grams, and chuck it away, then go back to auto, just to make sure that any of the coffee that I ground last time at the old grind size, when I'm changing the grind size, has been purged, and everything that is in the basket now is at the new grind size. So it's telling us to dose a bit more because we've changed the grind size. I'm just going to show you how to pull a manual shot. So if you don't want to use the shot button every time, you can really simply pull shots manually. Press and hold the shot button for as long as you want pre-infusion to last. And the factory preset's about 7-8 seconds. And then remove your finger from the shot button, and then the pressure will ramp up, and press the button again to stop. So if you don't want to do that, ignore me. I'm just showing you this for anyone who wants to do that. So 31 seconds I stopped that shot at. So that isn't bad. Very good, in fact, I would say. 31 second shot in the second attempt. Looks good. Tastes mega. That's really nice. Wow. So that was simple. That was really quick and straightforward. Let's change bean again. So I've changed bean again. This is my dark chocolate Sumatran from the Coffee Works. Leave everything the same. Let's see what we get. And I'm going to just purge a little bit. So that was simple. Luckily, we're still perfectly dosed. If you are drinking neat espresso, I would recommend stirring it. 25 seconds. Looks good. Let's give it a stir. Tastes really good, that. Again, dialed in. So let's do one more. Dial in one more bag of beans, and I think that'll do. So change the beans. We're on the custard cream now from the Coffee Works, and this is lighter. It's not a light roast. I wouldn't recommend light roast certainly not for integrated grinder espresso machines. Using light roast for espresso is much harder. It's much more demanding. It requires more effort, more skill, and higher end gear. But this is what I'd call a sort of medium dark or medium espresso. I'll just leave everything the same, see what happens. Because we've got too much in. It wants us to use the razor tool to trim some off. I shall oblige. There we go, dose done. I'm going to reset the shot volume again because I've changed the bean. And that was 19 seconds. A little bit quick. We're going for a window of 20 to 35. As I've said, that wider window. So I'm just going to go a little bit finer. Perfect. It's looking quite good. 26 seconds. More than happy with that. That's a decent shot. Really straightforward. Dialing in one bag to the next. So there you go. As you saw, changing from one bag of coffee beans to another with the Express Impress is easy. The machine does most of the work for you. All you have to do is follow its lead, essentially, and you should be enjoying great espresso with each new bag of coffee beans with minimal wasted time and minimal wasted coffee. Thank you very much for watching, and please don't forget to click the like button. Thanks. Alfred Hitchcock was frightened of eggs, and that doesn't have a huge amount to do with clicking the like button. True, but click it anyway. Thanks, and if you've enjoyed this video, why not click here to watch another one? And don't forget to become an official coffee botherer. You need to click this image around here somewhere of my face to subscribe. Tatty Bye.